Welcome to Rolling Up the River with the Gridiron Geek and Rolynn's Reviews. Hello, Mr. Geek. How do you like my trademark Halloween outfit, the cat in the hat?
Roland, I think your outfit couldn't be more adorable. I think that the hat is worth the price of admission alone.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'm a massive Dr. Seuss fan. So
Me too. Me too.
this all
And
just works.
all I can say to that is I know it's wet and I know the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny.
Well,
Oh,
that's very poignant for Jefferson County football preparations this week as we sit in this very gloomy weather that we've had all week. We do think it's going to clear off by this Friday night,
okay.
but we can only cross our fingers at this point. We'll remember the wise words of Dr. Seuss, if not.
Yes. Okay. On this Halloween, we will be looking at Mississippi Magazine's predictions for the first round of district tournament play, including 7 district quarterfinal games for the Dirty Dozen. How do the tournament brackets look this year, Gridiron?
Well, you try to take the good with the bad when you get your Misha district brackets in the mail, so to speak, each year. I like our team's chances in several brackets. There are even a few places that we'll get into a little bit later where I think we could have a little bit more daylight than we thought the Dirty Dozen might have
Okay.
as these district playoffs begin for 2025. There are a couple of district brackets, unfortunately, that we're involved in that have a couple of teams or one team in each bracket that I would call a division killer.
Okay.
Um, a team that is just prohibitively so good that if they play their game, there's probably no way that our teams can get through. But that's a minority of the district brackets. I think that in most of the brackets, I'm very optimistic about our team's chances to vie for a title.
Okay. Well, like the Oliver Stone movie, Any Given Sunday, anything can happen in a tournament, especially if you have Al Pacino as coach. La Cosa Nostra.
I can't argue with that.
Okay. All right. Now let's get to the first of our 7 district quarterfinal games, the Herculaneum Black Cats versus the John Burroughs Bombers. What is your prediction for the Halloween playoff party in Herky, Gridiron?
Well, this Class 3 playoff quarterfinal between Herky and John Burroughs is a tough call. It's a tough prediction.
Okay.
Um, John Burroughs has some advantages. Their last 2 teams, I think, on the schedule forfeited this year. So they've been allowed this kind of 3 or 4 weeks of just rest and rehearsal and to get totally healthy. Pardon me, but we've seen a lot of teams in that scenario. I remember from the COVID season when if one kid got sick in the Mississippi Conference, the team would have to take 2 weeks at least off of its schedule.
Wow.
And we saw Windsor score about 50 points on Hillsborough. I
Okay.
can't think of another time that Windsor scored 50 points on Hillsborough, but they got a couple of weeks off in advance of that game, and they demonstrated this principle that if a team just gets 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off just to rest and rehearse, that they're a very dangerous team. So I would cast Herky as a favorite over John Burroughs under normal circumstances. Herky has had a really terrific year so far,
Okay.
but we can't overlook the fact that John Burroughs is just in a better place. They've had less wear and tear. In so many words, they've gotten lucky with the schedule and in preparing for this quarterfinal. The one thing that I think Herky has going for it is that it is Halloween. And if
Okay.
that sounds superstitious because it's the Herky Black Cats,
Now.
what what I mean is that I think this Herky team is hungry. I think they believe they can make a little noise in their Class 3 bracket. And I think that they're going to be prepared to play hard in any circumstance. For John Burroughs, here's a team that deep down, they got to know they're not going anywhere in the bracket they're in. There's too many good teams at the top. They're coming on this road trip on Halloween night. I think if Herky smacks them in the mouth first thing, they might start to wonder what in the heck they're doing there by the smokestack. So I'm going to say if Herky gets off to a good start, they can romp. John Burroughs scores first. It's going to be a nail biter. But my prediction is Herculaneum 34, John Burroughs 20
Okay.
in the Class 3 district quarterfinals.
In small school playoff action, the St. Pius Lancers excuse me, let me go back. Our next playoff prediction is the DeSoto Dragons versus the North County Raiders. Is DeSoto's big gamble going to pay off Gridiron?
I was going to say, don't put St. Pius in front of DeSoto this time, because we think that the St. Pius game is probably going to be lopsided.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
think DeSoto's game is going to be lopsided. In fact, the fact that DeSoto's game is probably going to be close with North County is really a big part of the storyline coming into this game, because DeSoto's head coach, Russ Schmidt, chose to jump over the Hillsboro Hawks, who DeSoto had beaten head-to-head, as you know, during this regular season,
Right.
to get the third seed in Class 4 District 1. Now, that puts DeSoto in the crosshairs of the North County Raiders. But if DeSoto wins that game, they might wind up with a pretty makeable path to get to the title game in District 1. So it's a gamble. They're taking on the tougher of the two games first. DeSoto had a heartbreaking loss to North County the first time. So we really think that DeSoto is kind of, what do they say, anteing up, just going all in on, we can beat North County. If we beat North County, we have a path.
Right.
So once again, we're going to favor the Dirty Dozen, but not by much. I'm calling for DeSoto to win a real tense contest over the North County Raiders, 17-14.
In small school playoff action, all right, we made it. The St. Pius Lancers take on the East Prairie Eagles. Where do the Lancers go after last Friday's heartbreaker at Valley Catholic Gridiron?
I'm sure there's a few St. Pius Lancers fans, and this is, I sound like a broken record because I said this about a few schools on the videos this year. I'm sure there's a few Lancers fans that wouldn't want to believe that the team's best performances this year have been losses. But we see sometimes in Missouri, when a team takes on some really tough teams on their schedule, sometimes their most impressive performance is a loss. So long as it's a loss in the regular season, they're not eliminated. So I don't think there's any shame in saying that St. Pius had a better performance at Valley Catholic than they really had in a lot of their blowout victories this year. Valley Catholic is such a tough team, just an institution of small schools football in eastern Missouri. Some people would say Valley is a standard bearer for small schools football in our region. So St. Pius to have gone and actually led Valley Catholic at halftime. St. Pius's defense frustrated Valley, lost eventually 14-7, once again in a heartbreaker, but it sets them up in a pretty good place and feeling a lot more confident going into the district playoffs in Class 2. And St. Pius has, I guess, a cheapie to start out against a very weak East Prairie team that's really headed in the opposite direction as the St. Pius Lancers. And so this is our most lopsided prediction of Week 10. We're calling for the St. Pius Lancers to win their Class 2 quarterfinal over the East Prairie Eagles, 52-0.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Abracadabra. Reach out and grab you. Finally, in the small schools department, what do we think about the matchup of Jefferson hosting New Madrid County Central Gridiron?
Well, These are gloomy days at Jefferson R7 High School, and not just because of the rainy weather. Um, Jefferson doesn't have footage of the Week 9 contest that they played and lost last Friday, so I couldn't go back and double check, and I haven't heard anything. But I think that Cooper Frisk might be injured.
No!
The quarterback from Jefferson, Cooper Frisk, appears to have come out of that game pretty early. And it's probably not a good harbinger for the varsity Blue Jays in the Class 2 playoffs. They've already been in a slump. I don't think that they necessarily want people talking about this news of this injury, which makes me feel like it might be severe. I hope not.
Yeah.
We all love Cooper, but they replaced footage of Jefferson versus St. Vincent in Week 9 on Misha TV with just a random shot of the field with most of the lights off on a rainy night for 3 hours, empty. And I thought, that's almost a little too poignant right now. It's really a dark cloud over this slumping Jefferson Blue Jays season. If they don't wake up now, it's too late. And I thought that was almost a little bit too fitting, just the spooky, not in a Halloween way, but just in like a spooky, like, oh man, it's a gloomy day with this program.
Oh,
The,
yeah.
the bright ray of sunshine and all of that is that they have a pretty beatable opponent in Week 10. And so we really hope that Jefferson can get through to Week 11. It's been a while since they haven't.
Right.
We'd love to see the morale pick up with a playoff victory of any stripe by any score with any quarterback. So with that, I'm going to make the hopeful fingers crossed prediction and say Jefferson 19, New Madrid 14.
Got a strange magic. All right. So
They need some. They need
yeah.
some.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we're going to see how that works out. Now, let's get to the playoffs at the bigger campuses. What is your prediction for the Hillsborough Hawks versus the Sykeston Bulldogs? Gridiron, talk to me.
I didn't really have a gut feeling about this game. I know that I think Hillsborough probably needs to regroup in their losing streak right now from a mental game point of view more than anything else. I don't know that Hillsborough has as many injuries as
Okay.
held them back at this time last postseason.
Okay.
And I think that the whole race is still ahead of Hillsborough.
Okay.
But Sykeston's shown a lot of life this year. Sykeston is no longer a cupcake in Class 4. And
Uh-huh.
the last time Hillsborough played Sykeston in the playoffs and Sykeston wasn't a cupcake, Hillsborough won by about 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
So this time in the Class 4 district quarterfinals, we're predicting the Hillsborough Hawks defeat Sykeston 35-24.
Okay. In another large schools playoff game, the Windsor Owls travel to face the Perryville Pirates in a Class 4 district quarterfinal. Can the Owls reverse their trend and pull off the upset this spooky Friday?
Well, whether you want to call it Halloween black magic, whether you want to call it some of that magic that you were singing about earlier, I think that this is where we might just need a little magic to rescue the Dirty Dozen from getting eliminated in the district quarterfinals. I think that we do have a slim chance to get through to Week 11 with all 12 of our teams still alive at Mississippi Magazine. But I think that the toughest out is probably going to be the Windsor Owls defeating the Perryville Pirates or upsetting the
Okay.
Perryville Pirates to advance. Reason being, once again, you've got 2 teams that are kind of headed in opposite directions. Windsor is still having problems executing and, getting all of the right youngsters to develop in the right spots. Really regressed a little bit from some of the high points that the Windsor Owls had earlier this season. Meanwhile, Perryville looks geared up to make another run at the district title game, if not challenge Festus or Hillsborough when they get there. So we're calling for the Perryville Pirates to win 42-21.
Oh,
Yar!
It
wow.
would take a lot of luck for the Windsor Owls to win, but it is Halloween, so you just never know. Halloween, full moon, all the I don't know if there's a full moon right now, but just whatever kind of magic spell that we can put on that game, I think that's our biggest danger zone is Perryville defeating Windsor. So there's my pick for that.
There's your pick. Okay, so in the words of the great Steve Miller Band, abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. So we're going to wait and see. Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, we'll see how that one turns out. Okay, finally, the Greek has told me that this week we're saving the best for last. Do the Fox Warriors have a Cinderella's chance of making noise in Class 5, starting with Friday's contest against Poplar Bluff? Gridiron, talk to me.
Well, you hate to put so much stock in just one game or one performance.
Okay.
But I feel like by upsetting the Ladue Rams in week 9, I feel like the Fox Warriors made some kind of a statement that maybe, just maybe, they're starting to put everything back together again.
Okay.
This has been another one of our slumping teams that somehow drew a winnable quarterfinal in the district tournament if they can execute and if they can play like they did early this season. I think Poplar Bluff has had a sluggish offense for a while. I think when you think of Poplar Bluff's great teams, you think of exciting offenses. And I think Poplar Bluff has kind of lost that aspect of their program a little bit. They've had some sluggish offense. And, Fox's offense has been sluggish too, but the Warriors are still playing mean defense. And they played good defense against Ladue. And I thought that they played really good defense against Parkway North before they met Ladue. Okay. So we're looking for Fox to hopefully win a defensive struggle in the Class 5 district quarterfinals against Poplar Bluff. And my prediction is Fox 22 and Poplar Bluff 12, with Fox advancing to week 11.
Thank you so much, folks. And we'll see you the next time on Rolling Up the River with the Gridiron Geek and Rolynn's Reviews.
Thank you, Rolynn. Happy Halloween.